The revenue opportunity could reach about $800 billion in 2024, according to industry data, as the MTN Group announces that it has bought a digital land in a South African originated metaverse called Africa Rare, taking possession of 144 plots of virtual land with an overall area of Africa Rare, which was launched in October 2021, becoming the first African VR metaverse to launch. Now, the primary market for online game market makers and gaming hardware may exceed about $400 billion in 2024, while opportunities in live entertainment and social media make up the remainder. As a matter of fact, the metaverse market may reach about $783.3 billion in 2020, which ended about $478.7 billion in 2020, representing a compound annual growth rate of 13.1%. So let's make sense of this now. We have Mr. Konkro, who has a background in growth and marketing, a Pan-African digital bank for a business, and currently is the founder CEO Link Finance, with driving a financial culture intelligence amongst young Africans. He joins us via the Zoom platform. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Frank.
Okay, so where do we start from? I mean, this is quite huge. But let me begin with this question. Are we now in the future? Because now this metaverse idea perhaps is one of the latest or perhaps craziest idea, if I may use that phrase to describe this invention. So please maybe make sense of this metaverse for us, the world of digital money, future of these opportunities. Start from anywhere.
Okay, awesome. Thank you once again for the opportunity. So, Metaverse, the future is here, and we live in a reality. We live in a current reality, and the Metaverse is another reality, and we've been exposed to it in one way or the other. Right from we had the Web 1.0, and then currently we're in Web 2.0. So, in the Web 1.0, it's a period where we had communications from major media organizations, and so all we just had to do was receive. We just could only receive information to the radio and all of that. And then we now have the Web 2.0, where almost anybody can be a creator. You can create content and put it out there and communicate to people. We can have a TV station like this, operating, and then I can just come together with my friends and we can just come up with a media business and we're just communicating. We have YouTube, these are all representations of Web 2.0. You can use emojis and all of that. But now we're moving to Web 3.0, which is the Metaverse. This is where you're not just being connected by the internet, you live on the internet. We live on the internet. So, for example, this conversation we're having right now, in the Metaverse, we could be in the same. I could be in your studio, by virtue of technologies like the hologram, So I could be live in your studio and we can have this conversation. We can also use the VR, virtual reality, and we are communicating. I can feel. I can get. There's a way you can transmit emotion to a good extent. In the Metaverse. And so right now we're already exposed to it in different forms. But with time, this technology is going to improve and it's going to get better.
Now, we'll get to the market potential of these particular inventions, but let's talk more about the reality that is on us. And now you talk about the fact that we're right now in future. But the question also remains a kind of a mystery to some people out there. How do you transmit all of this into reality? This is just virtual. I mean, how can I feel the value for my money? How can I feel the value? For instance, you talk about someone can be made to appear in a studio here by way of that hologram, you would call it, and so how do you connect emotionally? Does it have emotion attached? So apart from what it is, how it works, people will also want to understand that.
Okay, so that's a very interesting question. The metaverse, it's like I said, now we live in a world where we are being connected by the internet, you know. So now we're moving to another reality where we both can live on the internet, and then our money, there has to be a means of exchange over there. So, and that goes to show where that's a situation where someone could be broke here, but is rich in the metaverse. And people can choose to spend their time in the metaverse because that's where they have their wealth. They have land, they have properties there. And beyond just, most times you can choose not to use the virtual reality. You can come up with an avatar that represents you in that reality. Yes, so that gives rise to the NFTs. I don't know if you've heard of NFTs. So you can choose an avatar that represents you in the metaverse. And that is your virtual life. And as the world progresses to that point, less value and less impact or attention will be paid on this reality, and more attention will be given to that reality. That is why you see companies like MTN already trying to get in on time they've already purchased, this large expanse of land on the metaverse. You have Facebook repositioning themselves to be focused as a company that is driving, the metaverse, adoption. So with time, less emphasis will most likely be placed on this reality. So
now let me quickly come in.
All of the things.
Just because of our time, I want us to touch on different areas of this conversation. Yes, you said one could be broke here in the real world and be rich over there. It means that you have value or something to exchange with values over there. So how do you translate the value in the virtual reality, money in the virtual reality, the wealth in the virtual reality to physical wealth here that you can use to exchange values here?
Yes. So that is what I was saying. As we progress, as we move into the metaverse, less emphasis will be placed on what you own here and what you have here, and more of what you have on the metaverse. So and that is why you see a lot of people investing the resources they have. NFTs. People are buying NFTs in millions of dollars. People are buying they're buying their avatars that would exist, represent them in the metaverse. People are storing more value, on the metaverse than they are here. So that is what is going to be happening. And the early birds are the ones that will win. The early ones are the ones that will win the race. This race to own or control or be wealthy in the metaverse. The early guys are the ones that will win. So that's why we have all of this business and all of these companies positioning themselves, as the future. So with MTN buying this expanse of land on the metaverse, it's just to show already that the value, yes, the potentials of the value, where value be placed more on, so it will be placed more on the virtual reality on the metaverse than what we have here. So you can have someone living in you can have a couple of people. There's this movie that came out. I'm trying to remember the movie that communicated this metaverse reality. And then we also have the Matrix. For those of us that have seen the Matrix is a clear representation of what the metaverse experience would be like. You would feel, and you can live there because people have stored value. So you just have to wear the VR, and you're just living there. Probably the only reason why they'll have to stand up is when they feel like you're urinating in this side. Once you're pressed in this side, so they don't have to stand up to go, urinate, and they just go back to the reality in which they choose to exist in. So that's most likely what will happen.
Okay.
So the choice is, it depends on the person. Where you want to be wealthy. Do you want to be wealthy in the present, in the real world where you live? Where less people are paying attention, or do you want to be wealthy in the metaverse.
But is this wealth? Is this wealth or value? Is it withdrawable? Can I withdraw it? Can I convert it to cash? And how can I do that? Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I think we
Okay.
almost lost the connection there. So I was asking
Sorry.
you,
Yeah.
can I withdraw my value, my money, I mean, can I withdraw it? How, if it's possible, how can I convert it to physical cash? Is it possible?
Yeah. Yes, it's very possible, and that's the power of cryptocurrency. So this value that you have created in the other reality, you can withdraw it into this reality. Powered by the blockchain and cryptocurrency flow. So you can get your built wealth. The broke guy has built wealth, accumulated wealth in the metaverse, maybe by gaming or by carrying out one task or the other, or by doing one to the other, and then he has accumulated this currency, these coins. Then via the which is the virtual coin, then via the power of the blockchain, cryptocurrency, cryptography, he can then withdraw this and exchange it for fiat, and it has cash to relate in the world.
Quickly, what are some of the tradable? Yes, we talk about buying of lands in this space. What are some of the tradable materials or one can exchange in values in this virtual reality?
Okay, so sorry, that's why currently we have their crypto tokens that are already existing that would be means of exchange. For example, there's one called Sand. It's being used in a particular metaverse, the Sandbox metaverse. Then we have Decentraland, and then its own means of exchange is Mana. So these are tokens that already exist. So these are means of exchange over there. But currently, we also see people convert pictures, and certain assets into digital forms. So these assets in digital forms, they are called NFTs, and they are a means of storing value, a means of storing value on the internet, in this metaverse. So that when finally we all move to the metaverse, they can now sell that picture based on what it is worth at the time, and then they can use it to build their wealth or whatever it is that they want to do, over there on the metaverse. So we have these tokens that are means of exchange, but currently people are already minting, converting certain assets into digital forms, and they are called NFTs.